was recording. There we go. We are all recording. Everything is recording now. Okay. Oh my goodness. Glad to be here again, to be on this side of the dirt. So grateful and thankful. This has been a full week. This has been a really amazing week. I have been attending Lisa Nichols' 5-day legendary speaker challenge, and it has been amazing. I'm learning so many things. Some I already knew, and then some that I'm learning. So this morning, what I want to talk about, the patterns, because the shadow of every problem is a pattern. And so this morning, I want to talk about toxic, dysfunctional relationships. Toxic, dysfunctional relationships. You know, I was going to talk about this. This was my topic for sure. And this morning, I was listening to a word. And the title of that word was, "The Problem is the Pattern." So the things I heard this morning was the exact things I needed to hear to help me with this conversation, because it was just putting the rest of the pieces of the puzzle together. Because a lot of times we find ourselves in toxic, dysfunctional relationships and we don't know, like, why do I keep choosing the same person with a different name? Why is this always a problem? Why is all of my relationships the same way? Right? It's the patterns. Good morning. Yeah, Facebook. I always go live on Facebook and TikTok. So the problem is the pattern, right? So if you got a problem, there's a pattern, okay? Where there's a problem, there's a pattern. Where there's a problem, thank you. Where there's a problem, there's a pattern, okay? Okay, now I'm going to go into about me, okay? What you might know about me is I love speaking. I love sharing things my lessons I'm learning in real time. I love speaking, period. I love transformational coaching. I love transformational speaking. I love helping other people, because that was once me in the lost and found section. So any information that I'd learned, I've got to share. It is my duty to share this information, okay, in real time. I share my truth, no matter how ugly it is, how uncomfortable it is for me to share. I share it because I know it's not just for me, okay? So what you might not know about me is I was in toxic relationships, and they were normal to me. These toxic relationships I found myself in were normal to me, okay? I didn't know they were toxic. It was what I saw growing up. It was all I knew. I saw relationships be abusive. This is what I thought what love was. Love was toxic. Love was abusive. Love was how much stuff you can put up with. That's what I saw. So that's what I thought was normal. Okay. That was my pattern. That was the pattern of thought. That was the pattern of things I saw. So what did I do? I did the same things because I thought it was normal. A lot of times, these patterns are not even our patterns. They're what we saw growing up. And so that's all we know. I was watching a show last night, and these guys were sitting around talking. And he was like, people expect me to be a strong black man. But how do I do that if I never saw that? Right? So a lot of times we're doing things. We're expected to mimic things we never saw. We never saw this stuff growing up, right? I never saw a loving, healthy relationship. So how am I supposed to be in one? How am I supposed to have one, right? I only was repeating the patterns I saw. Does that make sense? We repeat the patterns, right? So I didn't, let me get back to my story. So I thought that love meant pain and sacrifice, okay? I didn't know what self-love looked like. I didn't know what self-love was. Never heard the word, okay? I didn't trust or respect myself. I doubted myself, and I didn't believe in myself. And I had a fear of being alone or rejected. So I would stay in relationships longer than I should have. I would stay in these relationships because it felt normal to me. It felt like love to me. It felt safe to me. Okay? I thought I needed that relationship or a man to feel complete. I thought I needed another person to feel complete. What I know now is that was all a lie. What I know now is that was all a lie. I am worthy of love and respect, and I am not broken. I was just covered up by patterns I saw, patterns I mimicked. Okay? This is why I'm committed to helping as many people as I can to find their voice and unpack those lies and live a fulfilling, thriving life. We got to unpack those lies. We have to, because if not, you will continue to repeat the pattern. You'll continue to repeat the pattern. The only thing was changing was the names. I kept dating the same person over and over and over and over. And you get what I'm saying? I kept repeating that because that was what I saw. That was my pattern. I didn't know any different. So if you don't change the pattern, you'll continue to have the same problem. If you have a pattern of a negative bank account, then you have to look at your spending habits. What's your pattern? If the problem is negative bank account, no money, look at, look at your pattern of spending. If you have a pattern of relationships always ending in somebody cheating on me or I'm cheating on them, what is the pattern? What are your patterns? You have to get to the bottom of that, right? You got to get to it. We don't end up at the place we desire. We end up at the place our patterns take us. We don't end up at the place we desire. We end up at the place where our patterns take us. What is your pattern? Look at your life. Where's the problem? Because wherever the problem is, there's a pattern. Wherever the problem is, there's a pattern. The problem is in the pattern. The problem is in the pattern. It is. Let me just give you some history of this. When I first started dating, I was fresh out of high school. I was about 19. I was in a relationship with somebody who was 10 years older than me. We end up living together. I didn't even know who I was, and I was in a whole relationship with a grown man living with this man. When I say it was so many toxic, dysfunctional things going on, but they seemed normal to me because that's what I saw growing up. Okay? Even before we got to that point, I found this person cheating on me. I approached this person. There was an altercation. You know who went to jail? Me. I went to jail for criminal domestic violence because I caught this person cheating and I approached this person. And this person framed me on the ground. And I went to tell the police. You know what they say? You provoked this person. They locked me up. Jail, mugshot, and all. And I pled guilty to a charge because I didn't know. I did not know any better. I just wanted to get out of there. I did not want to be there. And when I get out of there, guess who's riding by? Him. Who can I be mad at? You know who went back to that person? Patterns. Toxic, dysfunctional patterns. Right? I thought love was just sacrifice, hurt, pain. I thought that was love. Okay? This was my first relationship, y'all. My very first serious relationship. And the cheating kept going on. And it went on so much, I was like, I'm going to do it too. I don't want to be out here, getting this done to me. Whatever you do to me, I'm going to do it back to you. Okay? Because hurt people, I promise you they hurt people. I promise you they do, because I did. I had a pattern of toxic, dysfunctional relationships. The names changed, but I kept dating the same person over and over again because that was my pattern. My pattern was, you know what? This is love. Love is abuse. Love is people cheating on you. Love is people fighting you, cussing you out, just being whatever to you. And you just stay because you ain't got nowhere else to go. And you don't want to be by yourself. Right? Because being alone was scary to me. That was my belief. I operated from those beliefs. Those beliefs became my patterns. And that was the problem. That was the problem. And I'm talking to people now and I'm looking at, I see stuff. I see me, right? I'm looking at the timeline and people posting things about, the person, their spouse, probably they're cheating on them, And I'm just like, man, There's a pattern there. There's a pattern. Let's look at your relationships. Look at your relationships and how are they ending? Like how are they ending? Look at your life. Look at your spending. Wherever there's a problem, there's a pattern. Wherever there's a problem, there's a pattern. Wherever there's a problem, there's a pattern. Stop pointing the finger at those people because you're choosing to pick these people. So when you work on you, this right here gets better. Your picker gets better when you do your work and you unlearn those things that you think are true because they're lies. They're lies. I had to unlearn so many things. Then I got into the last relationship before I got married. I got into this relationship. And I was like, this is the one. Oh, everything's going to be great. And here we go again. Right? And then I look back on my life. I was literally thinking about this yesterday. We got together. We both was already in relationships, getting together. Our relationship was held together by toothpicks in the first place. How did I think it was going to be any different? Because how it starts is how it ends. And for me, that's how it starts. How it ends. How it starts is how it ends. That was my pattern. That was my pattern. It wasn't that person. It ain't about them. It's about your patterns. It's about your patterns. I learned this in childhood. And what we see in childhood, we reproduce it unconsciously sometimes. That was my pattern. It wasn't about the other people. It's about me. It was about me and the choices I was making. It's not about the other person. You can sit up here and you can post all the screenshots of what the person doing and what the person did. You can talk about the person till you blue in the face. But it ain't about the person. It's about you. It's about me. And the patterns. It's about the patterns. So wherever there's a problem, there is a pattern. The same experience over and over again in different relationships. Yes, right. The same relationship over and over again. I kept having this. I was like, good, my God. And he set me down. I said, well, why me? And I could clearly hear the Holy Spirit say, why not you? Why not you? I had to unlearn so many things. I had the personal development. It was what saved me. And coaching. Okay, you see my shirt? Jesus therapy equals healing. Jesus plus therapy equals healing. Jesus plus a coaching or counselor or whoever equals healing. You got to get the help you need. It all starts with us because the problem is in the pattern. The problem is in the pattern. If you got a problem, I promise you there's a pattern. If you got a problem, you got a pattern. That's it. If you got a problem, there's a pattern. And do not marry unless the ex-spouse pass away. Yeah, I know. Yes, I've heard that also. You listen, we all need help. This is why I share this stuff. This is why I share it, because a lot of stuff we don't know. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And don't beat yourself up for the choices you made in the past. Because here's my phrase of the day for today. Be proud of the person you were in the past because he or she got you here today. And when you know better, you can do better. And when you know better, you can do better. Okay? Be proud of the person you were in the past. I am proud of the person I was in the past because she got me here today. Okay? She got me here today. Okay? And when you know better, you do better. You can make better decisions. Now that you know, you can make better decisions. Okay? So look at your life. Look at the problems in your life. And look at the patterns that led up to that. Okay? This is how you keep dating the same person with a different name. You broke up with the person and not the pattern. This is how you keep dating. This is how you keep meeting the same person because you broke up with the person and not the pattern. That was my story. I stand on it, not in it. But once you're aware of this, if you look at your life, okay, look at your dating history. And see, how is it always ending? What's my pattern? What is my pattern? What am I doing? Because I don't want to keep doing that again. Okay? That was me. I don't want to keep doing that again. The patterns have to change in order for the outcome to change, right? You're going to keep having the same problem if you keep doing the same thing. Because doing the same thing, expecting a different result is insanity. Doing the same thing, expecting a different result is insanity. That's insane. It's insane. It was insane to think that I could keep doing the same thing. And I'm looking at them. What's wrong with all these people? What's wrong with them? Because something is wrong with them. Because ain't nothing wrong with me. Because I'm me. I'm me. I'm a wife. I should be treated as such. Right? And them soul ties is real, because you're talking to people and it's like, well, why do you keep going back to that person? I'm going to tell you why you're going back to that person. Because you're in that bed. As long as you're in that bed, you're going to keep going back. You're going to keep going back. Because them soul ties are real. Okay? Look at here. And you keep putting yourself in this. I kept putting myself in certain situations when I kept running into that ex. You know what happened? You already know what went down after that. You got alcohol, you got the music, and you got the mood. What's next? I had to change my patterns. Because I was tired of having the same problem. I was tired of repeating those cycles. I was sick and tired of me. I was sick and tired of me. And I had to change. Because if I didn't change, nothing else would have changed. Okay? I had to look at my patterns. I had a pattern to go into these certain places, running into that same person, wondering why I couldn't let go. You can't let go because you ain't trying to let go. You got to change your patterns. Once I changed my patterns, my entire life changed. Certain places I stopped going. Certain people I stopped being around. And it wasn't them. It was me. I didn't trust me. So I knew I had to do something different. It was up to me. It ain't up to another person. It's not. We put so much on other people. Well, they hurt me and they did this and they did that. And what were you doing while they was doing all of that? You was choosing them, because that is your pattern. What's your pattern? Wherever your patterns is, wherever your problem is, here's your patterns. Look at your patterns. Look at your patterns. Look at your patterns. Look at your patterns. I'm telling you, I was a serial dater. As soon as I got out of a relationship, I was already in another one. Look at here, the man clothes in a bag. I got his clothes in a trash bag, and I'm in a hotel with somebody else. Over and over again. Oh, they hurt me. Oh, they this. No, I'm hurting me. You know, the person that's hurting me is me. The biggest enemy is the inner me. It was my patterns. It's your patterns. I'm telling you, it's your patterns. I got sick and tired of me. I had to forgive me and the other person, because I was choosing from this place that I learned growing up. I learned that love was abuse. I learned that love was sacrifice. I learned that love was putting up with as much as you can put up with, because that's what people do. That's what I learned, because that's what I saw. And those things became my patterns. And I had kept having the same problem. I'm passionate about it because it's what I did. And when you don't know, you don't know. But when you know better, you do better. You get to do better. You get to choose differently. You do. Forgive yourself, forgive them, and make better choices. Make better choices. I can only control me. I have to make sure God sanctions my choice and not choose and then ask God to make me better. Yes. Yes. It's all of that. And here are some things and ways that you can overcome, okay? A needed wilderness. You're going to have you're in the wilderness right now, right? If this is you and you're constantly in this cycle of nothingness, you're in the wilderness. And this is the season where God is rewiring you, right? Because if nothing changes, nothing changes. Allow him to rewire you, because what you're doing is not working. Expose the pattern. You got to expose the pattern, because you can't go to war with the enemy that you don't know exists. So you got to expose the pattern. All right. Then next you have to resolve to remain. Don't quit when it gets hard, because it's going to get hard. It's going to get hard. It gets hard. It's hard unlearning this stuff. It's hard talking about it. It's hard letting go. It's hard hanging on. Choose your heart, because baby, it's all hard. It's all hard. But here's the thing. Here's the secret. You can do hard things. You can do anything you put your mind to. All you got to do is believe and trust in him. Okay? and read your Bible. Next is renew your mind. And how do you renew your mind? You get in his word. Be ye transformed by the renewing of the mind. Be ye transformed by the renewing of the mind. If you can get your head out, you can get your life out. If you can get your head out, you can get your life out. This don't have to be the end. It ain't over. I don't do relationships. I'm just done with love. No, you're done with the patterns. Be done with the patterns. Because that'll change. It will change. Your outcome will change when your patterns change. Your outcome will change when your patterns change. Because if nothing changes, nothing changes. I'm telling you, for decades, I did this. I didn't know any of these things. My life is spent now unlearning so many things that I thought was normal because it's what I saw. It's what I saw. I don't blame anybody. They did the best they could with the information they had. And new information requires a new decision. And it's up to us. You are your own rescue. Ain't nobody coming to save you. You are your own rescue. You have to make better choices. It's up to you. Because if not, the same problem will continue. If you don't change the pattern, the same problem will continue. I'm commenting so much because it's a full sermon. I'm an amen behind the screen. Thank you, sis. And here's the thing. I know that this was something I was supposed to talk about because, I was thinking about it yesterday. I was like, I'm going to talk about the things that I did. And, when it came to relationships, because I made so many. This is why I talk about it so much. I talk about it so much because these are things that I did. So I share my experiences. We are full of experiences that someone else needs. These things are not just happening to you. They're happening for you to help somebody else. So if I can help somebody just speaking what happened to me, I'm going to continue to do that. Even if my voice shakes, even with tears in my eyes, I'm going to continue to do that. Because I know it's bigger than me. The things that you're going through are not just for you. They're for you to overcome. So you can go back and you can grab somebody else's hand. Let me show you. I got you. Let me show you. Let me tell you about what happened to me. And then you get to choose something different. You get to choose something different. You do. Because the problem is in the pattern. The problem is in the pattern. Wherever your problem is, there's a pattern. We got to get back to that. Right? You can't keep blaming other people. You can't keep blaming other people for where you are in life. You're where you are because of your decisions. Okay? You're where you are because of your decisions. 20 years. It took you 20 years. I'm about the same. When I got on this journey, I was about 44 when I started this personal development journey, when I started coaching. So you're not alone, sis. You're not alone. That was me too. I'm unlearning so many things. And it's tough. It's tough. It's hard. But you can do hard things. This is why I share so much because I care so much. I share so much because I care so much. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than me. I am a legendary speaker in the making. I believe that, and I stand on it, and I own it, and I embrace all of my past, the ugly and the good, because it got me where I am. So forgive yourself for the choices that you've made. And make better choices and know that you can make better choices. You can make better choices. It's all up to you. Wherever there's a problem, it's in the pattern. There's a pattern. Wherever there's a problem, there's a pattern. I'm 54 and still doing the work, and I'm loving myself finally. So I'm going to continue to do it and do it God's way. Amen, sis. That's it. That's it. I'm here today because of God never given up on me. You're still here. He ain't done with you yet. He ain't done with you yet. You can make different choices. You can make better choices. You're right. I received that. You can make better choices. You can. The shadow of every problem is the pattern. And when you continue to rehearse the pattern, you're going to have the same problem. If you continue to rehearse those same patterns, you're going to have the same problem. It's up to you. It's up to you to do it differently. You got to do it differently. If you want a different life, you got to make better decisions. We are where we are based on we are where we are based on the decisions that we have made in life. Okay? When you know better, you do better. Forgive yourself for the past and embrace your future and know that you can make the change because you are the change. You are. Everything you need, you have. You have it in you. Okay? You do. And what God is trying to dry up in your life, what is God trying to dry up in your life that you're trying to use? What is he trying to dry up in your life that you're trying to use? Okay? He's trying to dry it up and you're trying to use it. It ain't gonna work. And you know it's wrong for you when it brings confusion. When it's wrong for you, it will bring confusion. When it's right for you, it'll bring clarity. A lot of stuff we know don't feel right, but we still do it. I know because I did it. So, yeah, I'm complete. I just wanted to share this. Let me stop this podcast.